Hey folks, how y'all doing today? Jaime of JLD Instinctive Archery here on the Wingman 115 channel, coming at you with an archery tip, so stick around. Hey folks, how y'all doing today? Thanks again for joining us here on the Wingman 115 channel. I just got a little bit of an archery tip. Now for the old timers, this may be nothing new. So this is catered more to people getting started into archery and possibly getting ready to start getting into bow hunting. Bow hunting season just finished, so as Fred Bear would say, the next season starts as soon as the last season ended. So as we start to get ready, one of the things besides new archery equipment is also the clothing, and particularly the hat. So that's what this is about. And real quick, because I know some people are gonna ask, the reason why the arrows are inverted is because I got small game tips on there. So that's why they're upside down. I keep them year round for stump shooting, but once I get into bow hunting season, we get into broadheads. But in case somebody asks. Anyways, so hats for archery and bow hunting. Actually, I had done a Boonie hat video not too long ago, and maybe old John will put a link to that so y'all can see how I had mentioned talking about hats in archery. I'm a big fan of the Boonie hat, and I think it's great for the outdoors. And again, I spell it out and all the different reasons in that other video. Now, when it comes to archery, it can impede on the bowstring. Different hats can. Headgear is an important part of being outdoors, and if you're just a field shooter, competition shooter, you're out there in the sun, out on the range, you want a hat. A little online search or watching the Olympics, you'll see people with different types of bucket hats, floppy hats, ball caps. So everyone's gonna wear their different flavor. But one thing you do need to be aware of if you're a new shooter and you're picking out that new hat is the size of the brim, that length of the brim, because it will affect the trajectory of the arrow if the bowstring is hitting the brim. So quick story, I was doing a bow hunt in Texas, visiting family. We were on one of our ranches, and I was walking back to the cabin, didn't see much of anything, deer that is, but I spotted a cottontail rabbit, easy shot, 10 yards away. Pulled back, wearing this very hat, and I missed. I was able to retrieve the arrow. The bunny just hopped a little bit of ways, got another shot opportunity. Took the shot, missed, like by that much. This happened 3 times. I was like the Latin Elmer Fudd, and I didn't realize why I was missing these easy shots until the rabbit scampered off. It wasn't until later that it was this. The bowstring was hitting the brim, and that was causing a certain effect on the hat. So upon returning home after that trip, as fate would have it, I was reading my traditional bow hunter magazine. There was a great article talking about that, how the bowstring making contact with the brim can affect the trajectory of the arrow. So one of the things that, one of the primary pieces of headgear that we see out when we're out in the bush, or people as they're getting decked out in their new hunting duds, is the good old ball cap. And so the ball cap with his nice big brim does give us a lot of shade from that sun. And when we go shopping for those new hunting duds, we kind of want to match everything and get that same color. But obviously you guys know where I'm going with this. I mean, it's really going to make contact. So simple thing to do is just cock up that bill or turn it around. But from a bow hunting perspective, when you're in the heat of the moment, unless you're a seasoned hunter and you know it's time to do a Rocky Balboa and turn that around, like what was that movie with arm wrestling, you know? So unless you're gonna do that in the heat of the moment, a lot of times you don't have time for that. So you might wanna think of a different piece of headgear. Now, if you have a different angle on the bowstring, it might not affect that, but us trad archers with our long limbs, that angle of that bowstring normally tends to hit those bills. So start thinking about a hat with a shorter brim. One of the things that I did is I went with a custom-made Boonie. So again, in that previous video talking about Boonie hats, I talked about how shorter brims help. Now I had this one custom-made because it's in my favorite camouflage natural gear. So y'all can see it's a much shorter brim on this one, so it doesn't impede when I pull back. And that's a big bonus. So just something to think about when you're stepping into the outdoors. You do want to have a hat. It helps a lot, and I went in depth into that in the other video about camouflage and protecting from the elements. But for the archer, the bow hunter, you do want to make sure that that brim doesn't get in the way of that bowstring. So that's it, just a quick little thing. Again, you old timers, this is no new news, but the new guys, new gals, something to think about. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and we'll see you on the next video.